What is up, you guys? Alright, so on this episode, I'm going to be pulling a transmission out of the truck. I got a guy who's coming today to buy it, and he's also having me pay to put it into his truck. So today's episode is going to be on pulling a transmission out the Blazer, and then we'll get back into pulling the motor out. Now, I've gotten some questions before. This is the radiator that I use. It is an all-aluminum 3-core radiator. It's eBay special. Cost me about $289 plus shipping. It's a great radiator. If you want, just go ahead and look up 3-core aluminum radiator on eBay, and I'm sure you can find it. Everybody else asked me how it is that I hold it in place because I got a little plate that I put across there. The plate that I used is actually something that me and my dad made for an old S10 project that we used to have. It's made out of diamond plate, thin sheet diamond plate, and it was bent so it could fit right here. All it does is it's got a small lip that holds it back so it pulls the radiator back like it's supposed to. And then we got the 3 holes in it to where it screws into the stock placement. Also, the transmission that will be going back into this thing is a Untitled TH350, which I got a great deal on. It's dirty, it's nasty, it needs to be rebuilt, but it was for $100. I mean, you can't turn that down. $100 for a transmission, come on now. But I'll get an episode where it's going to be a little clickbaity. But it's going to be one of those satisfaction pressure wash videos. I mean, who doesn't like watching pressure wash videos? Come on now. But I'm going to go ahead and get the truck set up and get it ready to take everything out. So, I mean, if I got some feedback from the last one. The speed up was a little long. I get it. You know, I probably could have stopped in between and told you what was going on. I'll try and do something like that today with you guys. This video right here will probably take 2 days for me to actually do. Because it's hot here in Georgia. It's 102 degrees today. And I'm inside of a shop. And when I got to record, I got to shut the fans off so you can hear me, guys. So we don't have any of them fan issues in audio. Because I still got to go buy that other mount that I posted up on the official Instagram. Once I buy that, then I can have fans going all freaking day long in here and not have any wind noise. But for right now, you guys, I'm just going to go ahead and stop. I'm going to get this set up. And I'm going to bring you back and tell you what it is we got to do to get it off. Alright, you guys, here we are. Got it all jacked up. She's lifted high enough in the air where I can pull a transmission out of her and not have any issues with it. I'm going to pull the front tires off here in a little bit. Anybody that's asking about the wheels that I have, they are 17 by 4s in the front and 15 by 10s in the rear. They are Vision Pro Star 2s. Or no, Sport Star 2s, my bad. I like them. I use a 27.5 on the front and a 28 in the rear. For the tire size, I like a little bit of a rake to my setup, or I like it to sit level. It just depends on how I like it for that time being. But for right now, everything's set up. Alright, all I got to do is get up underneath it, and we'll explain what's going on with it. So give me a second to grab some shit, and we'll get up underneath it with the flash on and everything like that so you can see. So give me a second. Alright, you guys, this is underneath my truck. I got to take this cross member out. There's 3 bolts right there and 3 bolts right there. I got it cut out. I got little things put on there from when we put the transmission in last because I was thinking about running dual exhausts on both sides when we redo the fuel system. So if anybody here is wanting to figure out how much you got to cut to do true dual with 3-inch, there you go. That's how much you got to cut off. I got 2.5-inch on it right now. A lot of people ask me how I get my truck to sound the way it does, and thing is we got factory downpipe going into no cat's deleted 2.5, so it's 2.5 all the way back to a knockoff Flowmaster with dumps, and that's the reason why it sounds the way it does. Now what we got to do in order to get this transmission out is start by taking the drive shaft off, which are 11mm bolts on there, and it goes all the way up to here to the front. We'll get it out the tail shaft. After we get that done, I'll go ahead and take the cross member out, which can allow me to bring the transmission down so I can get to some of the wiring harness and everything else like that. Once I do that, I'll get the exhaust down and out the way because the cross member is in the way of getting the exhaust out. So I'll get that out. Might have to cut it. I don't know yet. I'm not worried about the bolts because I'm not putting the stock manifolds back on. And if anybody here has a 2nd gen Blazer and you want a nice aggressive sounding exhaust but doesn't drone out or sound like a bumblebee, let me know. I'll be selling it. You can hit me up on my official Instagram. send me a message. I'll more than gladly sell it to you and pay for shipping. So we'll talk details on how much I want for it. But then we got to get the bell housing bolts off and the torque converter bolts, which you can't see that. But once we get all that, then we can get the transmission down and out, and we'll be good to go, you guys. So, I mean, if you want to watch a speed up, I might do a little speed up. Nothing too long or too serious. This isn't going to be a very long episode, you guys. There's nothing really to taking a transmission out of one of these vehicles. I mean, the only thing that's going to give me some trouble is this right here. All right, that's the pack on the side. GM glues those in from the factory. You got to put a little bit of heat on them and then pull on the plugs while they're heated up. If you don't do it right, you can break it, and those are not cheap. They're very expensive to replace, you guys. So when you do that on your own, be very, very careful, or take it to somebody that has done it before. All right, don't mess around with that if you don't know what you're doing, okay? But I'm gonna go ahead and spray this down with some PB Blast, let it sit for a little bit, and then I guess we'll do a little montage, you guys. All right, you guys. I already started on getting the bracket out. Drive shafts out. Like I said, those are 11mm bolts. There's 4 of them, and you got to make sure that you don't have a load on your rear end when you take it out, because that droop allows you to slide it into the transmission a little bit more to get it off the end yoke on the pinion. And if you don't allow that rear axle drop, you can't get it out properly. So remember that when you're lifting up your vehicle to do it yourself. On here, like I said, it was 3 13mm bolts. You got 1 bolt that goes through here. You had a bolt and a nut that went through, focus, that went through here. It's a 13 on this end, but it's a 15mm nut on the back end right here. Same thing on that side over there. 3 13s, 2 15s. And then this is a 16mm. I previously changed it out to a polyurethane. I'm probably going to reuse that on my TH350. I can still use that same mount. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and get that off while y'all are watching. Got my 3/8 gun here. One of the best fucking impacts I've ever used in my life, by the way. I love Milwaukee. I stand by it. But like I said, 16mm nut right in there if you can see it. Go ahead and get it out. Like I said, it's a bitch to be able to see, but I got it. I had a bunch of washers all on mine, and there it goes. Just drop it out the fucking place. So now I can get the transmission in here and get it up underneath the pan, jack it up, and I can get this cross member out. And then once I get the cross member out, I'm going to let the jack down, let the transmission down. I'm of course going to put a pan up underneath the tail shaft seal for any fluid that might leak out so I don't get it all over my floor. Once I do that, I can just let it settle down. I'm going to spray down the nuts for the exhaust one more time just to make sure that they're good. Like I said, the exhaust comes off here. You got 2 13s and a 15s right here. And then there's 3 13s up front on the manifold. Now my shit's a little fucked up, but you get the idea. And then the plug-ins for the O2 sensors on the downside, on the upside for the upstream, and then you got an O2 sensor here for the downstream. And I'll get that out. And then the exhaust on this will be for sale. So if you want it, just like I said, message me on my official Instagram, and we could talk about something for pricing. But I just figured I'd come and show you where we're at, give you a little view. I don't think I'm going to do a speed up this episode, you guys. I did a long speed up on the last episode. This one might be a short and sweet. But here you go. This is where we're at right now. Let me turn the camera right so you can see right. I'm up underneath, man, and I'm the only one recording, so this is a little hard to do. But this is what we got left. I'll bring it back in a little bit. Alright, you guys. Back at it again. Alright. We're going to be getting the bell housing bolts, torque converter bolts, and the starter out of the way. The tools that I'm going to be using, I have 2 impacts. I got a 1/4 inch Milwaukee, and I got a 3/8 drive Milwaukee impact. You can use hand tools, but I would highly recommend getting impact tools. You can get them at Harbor Freight. Don't have to be Milwaukee brand. I just like Milwaukee. That's a good brand. It's durable. It lasts a long time. Harbor Freight has similar versions that you can go with as well. But the tools that we're going to be using today to get this out, we got 13mm socket for 1/4 inch, 8mm socket for 1/4 inch, You got a 14 and 15 millimeter 3/8 drive, 3-inch extension, and a 12-inch extension, and then a 15 millimeter wrench. Those are the tools that we're going to be using. I'm not going to do any speed ups this time, guys. I'm just going to be talking and doing work and telling you what's happening. Not every video is going to have a speed up. But let me go ahead and get this done. I'm going to pull the starter out, show you what needs to come off on the starter, and then I'm going to work on getting the torque converter bolts out. So I'll be right back. Alright, everybody. That's where I'm at right now with getting the transmission out. I want to get a video out to you guys, so I'm probably going to go ahead and cut part 1 of the TH350 swap of my S10 Blazer right here. You'll probably catch the rest of me taking it out in garage vlogs number 2, which is going to be on that truck right there. We're doing a transmission in it. Transmission out of my Blazer is going into that one. He's got a slipping issue going on in that, so look forward to that video coming out. Probably next week is when it'll be up. But as far as that goes, guys, I do have the TH350. We're going to be doing a couple episodes on it. Here she is. It's a long-tail TH350. It's an 80s model. All I need is a tail shaft, input shaft, and I need a torque converter. We're going to match the torque converter to the camshaft that I decided to put into the motor of the Blazer. But figured I'd just, let you guys know what's going on here and everything else like that. Also, some more content for garage vlogs. I'm getting the rest of the stereo to do in my Trailblazer, so we're going to do a little episode on that of how to do stereo install in it. So look forward to that as well. But that's going to be it for me, you guys. I'm going to end it off here. I'll see you in the next one.